Hi everyone, welcome to April week 2. This is the parent explanation, just kind of go through the whole week with you again to kind of know what's coming. And then you can decide if you want to follow it day 1, day 2, day 3, or if you want to spread it out a little bit over the next 5 or 6 days, okay? So make sure you have your week 2. It would be in the second Ziploc packet that you picked up. And hopefully you could just pull it right out on top of and leave weeks 3 and 4 in the Ziploc there. But first is day 1. They're gonna do their fun activity is they're gonna make a grass crown, since we're gonna start learning more and more about flowers. So that you have your green strips of paper and some colored rectangles. And they're just gonna use their scissors and you're gonna have them cut lines all the way down pretty close together so that eventually when they kind of fan it apart, it'll look like a row of grass. Just remind them not to cut all the way down to the bottom or they'll have lots of taping and gluing to put it back together. So I just like to tell them to do just little snips, just snip, 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 snip. If they go all the way through, they'll ruin their crown, but they can do that. And then using the extra color pieces, they can cut out little circles or triangles or rectangles or flower shapes, whatever they want to do. And then they could use a glue stick to glue on little flowers onto the different parts of the crown. And then next is their reading and writing lesson. So we're going to do, this week we're doing the letter D. So pull up that letter D song from Jack Hartman or whatever you can find on YouTube. Do some movement to kind of introduce it. And then same thing as always, they're gonna write their name across the top, at least their first letter in their name. Hopefully by the end of this month, all the kids should be able to write their full name up. If not here, you can always give them extra space for on the back of their paper. And then color the letter D. They're gonna practice writing that big mommy D and the little baby D. Now D, I always do later in the year because it's so tricky, okay? The letter D can look like a B, it can look like a 9, it can look like a 6, it can look like so many other things, a Q, a P, that it gets very, very confusing for kiddos. So I do it at the end of the year when we've kind of introduced most of the letters so they can kind of understand that D, that circle or bubble or belly, whatever we want to call it, needs to be on this side of the line, okay? So just kind of remind them of that as they're doing it. But don't worry about correcting them too much because it is developmentally appropriate for them to do reversals until 2nd grade. So don't worry about it too much. Then they're gonna try to find the letter D's, and I did try to add a couple of tricky ones in there for you, like the B and the P, to see if they can determine which ones they're supposed to do. And this is a Sprouts paper, so Seedlings papers is going to look a little bit different, a little bit easier, and that's okay. And then they're gonna try to find that letter D sound again. So we've got door, donut, zipper, dinosaur, dog, and hand. So they're gonna find those D sounds. Next, they're gonna do, I would say take a little break after doing a sit down activity, go do some letter sounds or some letters, work on those CBC words, that sun, cat, bat, hat, whatever you wanna do, maybe some rhyming. Hopefully this week I'm working really hard to get some little game cards for you guys to play some different games or hands-on activities for your literacy center. And then I also have another video I'm gonna post for you about how I set it up with Jax and Olivia. I set up some little easy tubs for them that just kind of make it easier for me because they can grab a tub and go. So be on the lookout for that video as well. Then you're gonna do the number 8. So same thing, pull up one of those videos on YouTube, let them watch it, count to 20, count to 100, anything like that. And then we're gonna start talking about the letter 8. So very similar to letter D paper, write their name, write the number 8. Our poem is make an S and close the gate. That's the way you make an 8. They're gonna color 8 flowers. Don't forget to talk about that 10 frame, just to keep putting that in their brain for kindergarten. Put 8 things on the 10 frame, find the 8s, draw 8 objects, anything they want, from flowers to bunnies to Pokemons, whatever. And then glue on 8 carrots, and it's the same thing we're practicing. 8 is that 5 and 3, so make sure they cut out the 5 first and say, okay, we have 5, how many more do we need to get to 8? And some of the younger kiddos, like the seedling kiddos, are probably gonna need help with that. This is a much higher number than they're usually used to. Next, they can do their little steam tubs if you put some fun stuff together, maybe a sensory tub, do something active for a minute, sing a silly song before you have them sit down. And I also put together some videos for learning about flowers. There's 2 different ones. So there'll be video number 1 and video number 2, like learning flowers with Miss Jody. So you can go watch one of those first and then maybe save the second video for the next day. But once they've watched the video, then they can do this. It's what do flowers need? And they're just gonna cut out and glue on the 4 things that flower needs. So I did add some kind of silly things on here, like cupcakes or a backpack, just to kind of get the idea that like flowers don't need backpacks. So, and then they can color it, write their name, and you guys can talk about what do flowers need. All right, so that was day 1. So day 2 is they've got some really fun parts of the flower. So you could have them watch that second video before you start day 2's activity, just to kind of put some more flower knowledge in their brains. And then they can do this cute little thing where they're gonna cut out the arrows. Now for the little kids, just have them cut on the lines, leave it as a rectangle. But the Sprouts kiddos, I would challenge them to see if they could cut on the actual arrow lines. If they get frustrated, they can just cut out the rectangles, but it would be a good challenge for them to try it. So then you're gonna glue the arrows and see if they can point to, help them read the words. Some of those Sprouts kiddos should be able to read these words or at least get close. Like I would just give them that first sound and say, what do you think that is? And then help them say it, roots, okay? And then they'll glue on roots, leaf, stem, petals, seeds. So they'll glue on all the parts. Next is that letter D. So you can pull out another letter D video from Jack Hartman if you want to. And we're gonna do D is for dog. So they're gonna write their D's, write their name, color their D, and then you've got your cute little doggy ear that you're gonna glue on. And this cute little doggy nose. And then they can color him a little eyeball if they want to, or give him some little whiskers or something too. So there's your D is for dog. And then your number 8 is, I have on there 8 with pom-poms, but my big thing of pom-poms is still not here, so they're not in your packets. So have them maybe glue on 8 of anything. They could count out 8 beans. You could have them go out into the garden and grab 8 rocks, or maybe 8 leaves, 8 whatever they could find. Maybe you've got some craft stuff. You could cut up 8 pieces of ribbon, 8 pieces of pipe cleaner, whatever you want, but glue on 8 pieces of something on their number 8, and they can color it and then glue it on, and then practicing again, writing their number 8s along the bottom. And then I added in, I have their flower journals, which looks like this. And hopefully when you planted your flowers, if you didn't, that's okay. But on the very first page, if you can remember when, it says today, and you can write the date, I planted my seeds. I think it will grow to be A, and let them say any crazy thing they want. I've had anything from, I think it would grow up to be a zebra, to I think it's gonna be a flower as tall as a house, or I think it's gonna be purple. I mean, whatever they say, write it down because it's super cute. So whatever they think it's gonna grow, whatever that seed's gonna turn into, and then have them draw a picture of what they think it's gonna look like. So when it's all done growing, what is their flower gonna look like? And have them guess, how tall do they think it is? Now, they're not gonna totally understand inches, so just have them pick a number. Say, how many do you think it is? Pick any number, and they could say 4, they could say 1,000,000, whatever it is, write it in. It's totally okay, it's just cute. But once they've done that, then the next day, have them come back, and I've got some extra ones in here. So I would say at least once a week, I think I've got 4, yeah, so there's 4 pages. So wait a week and come back and grab their little cups and have them look at it. And after about a week of you planting it, they should start to see those little sprouts shooting out. They might be able to see some little roots coming down, but have them look at it and notice. Now, if nothing's happened yet, that's okay. Have them draw it where it's just a plain cup full of brown soil, and that's totally fine too. But same thing, how tall is it? See, if you can't measure it, no big deal. And then have them write what they see. I see. And the little ones, I would just write it for them, have them tell you what they see and then write it down. The big kids, see if they can write it. They could say, I see soil, I see roots, I see sprout, and you could help them spell it out. But it's just good for them to start practicing being able to do things on their own. But yeah, at least maybe like once a week, come back to it, look at the flower, journal it, look at the flower, journal it. So it should be enough for over the next 4 weeks for you to be able to do one journal in your book each week until it's actually starting to bloom. And then it's really cute for them to go back and look at that first page and say, was I right? Did I guess right what my flower was gonna look like, or was I way off? And it's really cute learning opportunity to talk to them about that. And then I did add in an extra little fun art project for the week. So you choose when you want to do it, but they're just gonna make a flower life cycle crown. So once they do this, they just color all the pieces, maybe help them cut it out. The eyeballs might be a little tricky to cut out. And then they're just gonna glue on all their pieces of the flower life cycle onto the crown pieces. And there's a page that has extra headband pieces too, just in case. Or you can use scrap paper or whatever if you can't find it. And then you just glue them on and glue the eyeballs onto the flower, and then they've got a cute little crown. All right, so then day 3, they're going to do either do that flower journal or do the flower crown, whichever one you need to get caught up on. And then we're gonna do some flower petal names. So this they might need a little bit of help with. But you can either just take all the paper, fold it in half, and cut out your own flower petal shape. So like with Jack's, I would only need 3 colors. So we would just cut out 3 petals and write, and then I'd have him write a J on one, an A on one, an X on him. So have them write their name, and then they can glue the center part of the flower on their blue paper, stick on their petals, and then they could choose to add a stem and a leaf or roots, whatever they want to add to their picture. But hopefully they can write the letters of their names themselves and then be able to put the letters in order so that it says their name. And then their last 8 paper for the week is to figure out which of these things are 8 and glue them on their 8 paper. They can color it and write their name. And then their fun activity to end the week, which this one is super cute, is this big long white paper, and here's some green stems, and you're gonna glue on your green stems, and then using a fork, a plastic fork, you're gonna dip the fork into different colored paints if you have it, and then when you smear it with the fork, it makes it look like a tulip. So it's just kind of a fun little project for them to try. So glue on all the little green stems and smash on your little tulip hearts. So there is week 2. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to get those more videos in there. And good luck this week. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.